welcome to Harbour from Home. My name is Mike, and on this installment, I'll be chatting a little about some important sources which help inform our understanding of the personnel living and working at the naval establishment between 1817 and 1834. We begin with the regulations and instructions relating to His Majesty's service at sea. Originally appearing in 1731, it was the first gathering of the rules and guidelines governing the professional conduct of all the Royal Navy's personnel. It covered captains, lieutenants, ship's masters and pilots, bosuns, carpenters, sailmakers, medical personnel, pursers, even the cook had a section of instructions governing his day. Of all these individuals, the captain had the most detailed set of articles to govern his conduct, while most had 20 to 30 articles describing their positions. The captain had 4 chapters worth in this 200-page tome. I will share a brief excerpt to give you an idea of the level of officiousness that was expected. A captain is, from the first day of his going on board, to keep a logbook according to form number 25, in which he is to insert all occurrences and circumstances relating to the ship, which are inserted in the ship's logbook, observing that all numbers which have relation to supplies of any kind, whether received or issued, are not to be marked by figures, but to be written in words at length. He is carefully to fill every column which the situation of the ship admits of, with as great attention and correctness as possible. At the end of every 6 calendar months, he is to send a copy of this logbook to the Secretary and the Admiralty, and at the end of the voyage, or whenever he wishes to pass his accounts, he is to send one general copy to the Secretary of the Admiralty and another to the Commissioners of the Navy, to be kept for the information of those who may in future be employed on the same service. If you ever wonder why historical letters are sometimes a little bit stuffy, I believe this is a good example of where that comes from. But there was a purpose to all of this. The Royal Navy had to cover a lot of territory. The British Empire had spread across the globe, and there was a need for accountability to prevent graft and corruption. And what we might term as a bureaucratic excess was actually a safeguard against those problems. But service at sea governs those folks who are living and working aboard a ship. There were, of course, outports as well, naval dockyards at various locations, Penetanguishene being one of the ones located in British Canada. And in the early part of the 19th century, the Navy developed rules and regulations to govern all of the civilian officers employed in those various dockyards and shipyards. There were foremen of the yard, there were quartermen of the various tasks related to ship repair, there were master smiths, blacksmiths under them, there were joiners, carpenters, sailmakers, mast makers, all employed in the yard, and every one of them had a set of codified instructions. I will share one brief excerpt from the instructions given to the master smiths in a shipyard, simply to illustrate that there were some elements of humanity involved in all of this bureaucratic rigmarole. So the master smith is instructed as follows. You are to have charge of the small beer supplied for the use of the smiths, and to take care it be of good quality, and that each man be supplied with his proper allowance. You are also, when the smiths shall be employed in making or repairing anchors, to certify to the tapster the quantity of strong beer which is to be allowed to each man, according to the established regulations on the subject. So even back in the day, there was some small reward allocated for hard work and difficult tasks. In any case, these regulations and instructions for both the civilian officers and the Officers Proper of the Admiralty form a very informative and very interesting look at the kinds of regulations that governed personal and professional conduct in the 19th century. So thank you very much. Until we meet again, please stay safe and have a wonderful day.